on this computer. We are started officially. Good morning, everyone. It's great that you
Morning.
have joined us. Hi. Look at this Hollywood Squares. This is awesome. Absolutely awesome. We are truly international as I look around the world to see everybody. Bryce, wow, good to see you.
Good to see you too. Good to see you. So happy to be here.
It's amazing because we've been in touch, Bryce. We published your book quite a while ago now, so it's pretty awesome because after it feels like all of a sudden we've been forward into a whole other use of internet and stuff, because all of a sudden now I'm seeing everybody. Even Garrett, I have not seen you before, but we've been in touch for, gosh, it's been a while.
It's been a long time.
Yeah, exactly. So thank you everyone for joining us as we're truly across the world right now. And today we're going to talk, we do have these virtual coffee chats quite often. We're trying to make them be about twice a month, so stay tuned. And each time we're trying to make it a little bit different so that it's engaging and entertaining. Please understand that you are welcome at any time to either pop into the chat window and pose a question, or put your hand up and we'll answer you as soon as we can. And we really want these calls to be as interactive as they can be. So again, please feel free. This is not, you know, any kind of formal meeting. It's just for everybody to enjoy, and hopefully you'll get some information out of it and be entertained at the same time. So today's agenda is going to have two ladies who are going to talk to all of us about branding and the importance of it in your messaging. And so I'm going to pass over the floor to Pashmina, and who's our Asia liaison and our marketing director. And I think everybody, they pretty much knows who she is on the call. I don't think there's anyone here who doesn't know Pashmina, because when you get to meet her, you don't ever forget.
Oh.
So the floor is yours. Here's the mic.
Thank you. Thanks, Judy. Welcome, everyone. This morning, this evening, or this afternoon, wherever you are. Thank you for being here. So today, we want to introduce to you Danielle, who's also our brand manager and strategist. So a lot of authors these days, they want to make more out of their book. Rather than just have the product, there's also the person behind the product, which is you guys. You're the authors, you're the creators of of this wonderful product that you brought to the world. So what are you going to do next? Like, what is the next step? And a lot of people use their book as a springboard to become entrepreneurs. And that's how you become the face of your company and the messages that you are providing from your book. So I'm going to pass it over to Danielle. And Danielle, take it away with all your branding knowledge.
Thank you so much, Pashmina and Jude, for the warm introduction. And for those who still don't know me, I live in Portugal. I am an entrepreneur. I have a business. I am a branding strategist. I have more than 22 years in marketing and branding. And recently I joined forces with Hasmark to bring this differentiate service to our clients. And the importance of branding nowadays is everything, because you need to have in mind that people connect with people. And your book is a tool for facilitate this connection. And one of the biggest mistake I see authors doing when they decide to publish a book is that most of them don't have an ending goal in their minds. They have their passion for the messages they are putting out there. And all authors think that just publishing your book is enough for people fall in love with your message. And because a book's like a baby, we all love our babies, we all love our books, but this is not enough to make you to stand out in the industry. For you to have an idea, Amazon is considered to be the biggest publishing bookstore in the world. So why should on earth your book, just because it was uploaded at Amazon, stand out over the rest of the books? So you need to have, publishing a book is already a hard work. You put hard effort in writing your book, in putting all ideas together and publishing your book. It's just the beginning. You need to have in mind a clear purpose. What should I want to get from this book? What is this book helping me to achieve, to get through? Okay, you want to change lives, you want to transform lives, but your book is only the showcase of you. And most of the authors, they put the book, they publish their book, but they think people will know their book, and this will bring them back the people. Or even most of the authors don't even think about it, okay, if the reader connects with my story, with my text, what next? What because take by example, you pick up a book, you read a book, and you love the story, be it fictional or non-fictional, okay? What's your natural behavior when you finish the book? You are going to search who is the author, because you want to drink more of that knowledge, more of that wisdom. So how do you think you are making it easier for your readers to find you? And if they can find you easily, what more they can have from you? What more can you provide for them, you know? And branding is not about self-promotion. Branding is about to show you to the world in a way you can impact more lives, you know? In a way your message can be received clear on the other side, you know? Basically is this. Any question?
I think there was a question or something here from Renata, an example of someone who springboarded to the next step. I'm not quite sure what that means. Maybe you want to unmute your line, Renata.
Is it on the chat?
Yeah, Danielle, you
okay.
said, what are the next steps? Can you give us an example of an author who did this branding well? Because we've been brainstorming that, but I'm a little lost, honestly.
Okay, so what's next? What I mean by this, for example, you have a book, okay? So it's not only about the reader picking up a book and read the story and connect with it and then, okay? So what more can you provide in terms of service because of your book? For example, can you be at stages speaking about the stories of a book? Can you create products and other services throughout your book, you know, picking up the same subject you are helping to spread with a book? What I say is that, for example, your book is your showcase, okay? So your book is helping you to become more visible to your audience. But who is your audience? Who will be the people who will benefit more from your book? And your job as the author, you need to find your audience and to start promoting more of your book. You know, for example, if you put a book about, I don't know, psychology, one example, and you want the common public to benefit from this content, okay? But you think, oh, I'm going to promote it at, I don't know, a construction building to employees. Okay, what I'm trying to say is you have to be clear about the people who is going to benefit from a book and starting promote your book to this audience with the benefits this audience will get from your book, you know? And this is how you attract business for your ending. You know, it's not about you, it's about the value you provide. But when you provide the value for the right people, they will want to come back and know more about you. And this is how you attract business and partnerships that are in tune with your mission.
Now, Danielle, that would extend and Renata and Tim are the perfect ones to lead into this, because their book is fiction based on a true story, but it's still fiction. Now I understand, I know for myself, I understand a business book, but fiction is a little bit different, because most people who write fiction don't understand that there's an extension of it, that you can take it. As you said, you do need to be very specific and understand who your audience is, so you know how to market and brand yourself. But
absolutely,
how then do you get it to become more? How do you create, like, rather than just, it may not be always that you want to create more and more books. How can you make it bigger than just the fiction book itself? Like, how can you grow that part of it?
Yeah, for example, for the non-fiction books, you still is the author, you still is the person, the creator behind all the products and services you can put in the marketing. So, for example, you can make readings, you can make, how do you say in Portuguese, in English, tertulia? You can read for your audience, you can connect. For example, a non-fiction book can generate licensed products and whatever. It's a whole world of possibilities. But the thing is, who will be the right vessel for you to market this book? For example, will it be the bookstores where you can read your book for your audience? Will it be to partnership with other authors in the area, so you can both promote each other's book, but of course, specifically for your audience? And the thing here is, if you think of your book always about being a business, you will always think more on the other, in the backstages. So your book is here, your book is the showcase. I am in the backstage. When people fall in love with my book, I will be sold. This is how we tell people that our book is our business card, okay? But when people come to the other side and see who I am, okay, now they will be able to, for example, hire my services, whatever I put my brand in, because I am the promise of value, okay? So even in fiction books, you need to have in mind that you just don't put one book in the market and this will be the book for your whole life. You will create other things besides this book, but you need to be prepared to be found and having the answers to give to the market when you are found.
Yeah, I just want to add to that as well. You know, as fiction writers, Renata and Tim, there's a kind of progression that you go to because it's fantasy. But you yourselves as authors have so many ideas that you've come up with that can, you know, instigate imagination or, you know, get into your local community. I mean, Renata, you're a photographer by you know, your craft, and connecting that with your book and, you know, different ideas of like your book cover, when you talk about it in your interview, it was something that you had a vision about, you fantasized about it, and you created into fruition, which was this product. So many parts of who you are as the person already can fuse together with the book. How did you create that to create this kind of fantasy land? I mean, we have Brad and Kike on the call here, and I want to just use them as an example. Hi, I have their book over here, Outrageously in Love, here. And they're perfect examples of taking their book and using it as a product to promote their different businesses that they are part of. Yeah. But their book is the product that creates the how do you call it? The interest, connection. The connection to instigate their audience to want to know more. Their sales page at the back of their book saying what they do resonates exactly with what they're talking about in the book, through pictures, through text, through everything that they're talking about. So there's a huge connection between their brand and their product, which is the book.
Yeah. Right. And in the end, they will be the people behind the book, which who we will want to communicate more and drink more of their knowledge and their expertise.
Exactly. But again, going back to fiction, what Pashmina tapped into was what I saw with Renata and Tim's book is, with a fiction book, I find that harder. I get asked more about fiction books and children's books than any other, because it isn't. So I do think business, it is something we should expand on further. Mm-hmm. But before we leave the whole fiction space, what Pashmina touched on is that Renata uses her photography and her skills in like her virtual tour. Like, that's pretty creative. So since you're in that creative element of creating fiction, then also use elements to bring like recipes from around the world, because part of the book is talking about traveling. So you found elements within your book to bring an entirely different message to light, but it's still all fictional messaging. So expand on it. There may not be more books as far as, like in their case, again, I can't think of a better example of not having a series of other books created, but I can think about where that went to, because now it might be a cookbook. Now it might be a travel book. Now it might be some virtual creation that you came up with. Mm-hmm. Like, how creative was it? I have never seen anyone do a virtual tour across the world like these guys have. Now that's a fictional creation that I just absolutely love. And I saw even this morning someone ask, how did you create it? What made you think of that? Who would ever think that in a fiction book you could do that? But what a fantastic way to do it. And to me, that's the perfect time that someone needs you, for instance, Danielle, to understand that you can now brand yourself. All of this can be wrapped together and brand yourself. And now you start thinking in a business sense. She went from fiction to creation to business. And it's such a great evolution.
And bring back here the fiction books, whether it be fiction or non-fiction, it's all about the feeling you want the readers to feel about your project. I'm going to give you an example here that's not from books, but it can illustrate here the situation. If you ever heard about Romero Brito, he's a Brazilian painter based in Miami, okay? And he is the most licensed painter in the world, okay? And he was very criticized about the style of his paintings. He is very criticized until the days. But the message here that resonates with the books, with the fictional books, is about the feeling. For example, for Romero Brito, he is known as the painter of happiness. So his paintings are known as the painters who brings happiness for the people who see the paintings. So a fiction book is all about the feelings, okay? Fiction or non-fiction. So what kind of feeling do you want your audience to feel? This will be the connection. And out of this, you will be known, you will position yourself, you will bring back to you the people who resonates with your message, you know? And this is the importance of having in mind when we start to promote your book is, who am I trying to attract to me? And this will help you to position yourself the right way to reach the right audience.
Yeah, well said. You're right. It's, and Jamie said that in his question on the chat window. So then it's more about message promotion. And you're right. When you know your audience, then you understand the message you're trying to give to the audience, and you can, you know, then promote your work and promote who you are. Jackie asks a question which extends on, and I know this about their books. In our case, we're selling a fictional book written by our father, who is no longer with us. We struggle with how to do the branding. He is no longer here to produce more work. So do we direct them to the stories about our father, why he wrote the book, his personal story, or some of the pieces in the story, smuggling, supernatural? How would you kind of do a quick?
You know, people connect a lot with things that sound like tradition, like secret. For example, you have characters in the story. For example, KFC. They still sell the image of that sir who founded the
Gentleman, the Colonel.
Yeah,
Colonel
yeah.
Saunders.
The general, for example. So it's about how do you want to be positioned. For example, if you want to create more or surround the figure who created the story as something, it's traditional, it's a storytelling, okay? So you can definitely use the father figure who created the story, and all the next steps will be communicating this idea that there is this character, this person who create this and that. For example, you still you can't think about Disney without thinking about Walt Disney, okay? So it gives the credibility behind the story, and you can use this as a storytelling, storytelling. I was confusing here the as the storytelling for the story itself. So people will buy the story because there is another figure telling the story.
Oh, so you're saying someone, so who's telling the story? The father or the girls, the daughters?
I understood that it was the father, no? Or I understood.
Father wrote the book, yes.
Mm-hmm.
And he's no longer with us. So you're saying is it's no different than Colonel Sanders with the KFC. Yeah, exactly. It still becomes the main, that's the part of the branding, is the dad and understanding who he is, which brings out the messaging in the book. It's because
in this case, it would be the branding of yourself as an author, but the brand, the father, your father as the brand, you know? This is not personal brands. It would be the brand of the book or the storyteller, you know.
So you're branding the storytelling. Perfect. Excellent. Does that help, Jackie? Okay, I'm gonna.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah, I think so a little bit. I think that we kind of go back and forth with this, and what part to, how much emphasis to put on who Dad was, which I think is important. I think people tend to be interested in that. But because he's not producing anything else for us now, are we trying to draw people to future books, or just, characters in the story and who he was and why he wrote it, that kind of thing. So I guess we talk about, I think that Dave was saying about put your dad's DNA all over this. So maybe that's kind of the thing, is elaborate a bit more on who Dad was. And does that make sense?
Yeah, and tell me something. Do you intend to put other books out there, right?
We don't have a lot. We have a couple of children's books that we were interested in doing because Dad had written some stories just to our kids and that type of thing. So we thought that perhaps when we get this one through, we may work on a children's book using some of those stories, but we don't have anything started yet. That's just sort of a goal.
Yes, because it's what I was telling about you. You need to decide what do you want to brand. Is it yourself as writers, as authors, or is it only the work that was done by your father? Because your father read the book,
Yes.
Wrote. Yeah.
Wrote.
Yeah. He wrote the books, and you can create him as a carrot to be promoted, to help you to sell the story he has written. Okay? Yeah. But of course, you will be always the person behind all these productions. So you need to be clear about how do you want these books written by your father will impact your audience, or the audience, the book's audience, okay? Because it's all about purpose, and you can put this as a line of products, but not bound yourself too much to it, because you will produce other products, other services, and you can be the person behind all those lines of projects. Okay. So yeah. you need to put pick up a piece of paper and put all the possibilities and how do you want to be seen by these projects. Okay. And then decide how do you want to be branded. You can brand yourself as the person who puts all these projects together, and
like
inside
it would be like a production company kind of thing.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
Yeah. So it's like ABC Production presents type of thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's not, you're not the author. So in your case, this is a perfect actually example for branding too, because it's so unusual that it's somebody else's book that you're presenting to the world, even though it's your father. So you as a production company, as you as the guy who's bringing it to the world as the producer of it or the provider of it is probably a better way.
Yeah, it's been a bit tricky. We thought about it a lot, trying to think how we do this, because we're not marketing people. So we're learning, but thank you. That's helpful.
I want to add, can I?
Sure, absolutely, Irina.
I wanted just to add to Danielle's comment. I think, thinking about this case, I'm thinking about the Gerson and Gerson's therapy. When the father died, his daughter was going around the world and she was promoting her father's work, but she was known like her own person.
Yeah, that's a good example. I know her work.
Yeah. So in this case, you need to promote yourself, but you going around talking about your father's book and you know his story very well. So you can give them even their stories that are not in a book because you were his daughter, and you can share with them experience how was he like a father. So you give them more than they can read in a book, and they can only get it from you because you are the person who was with him at the time when he was around, and you can share with them even more and make them feel what kind of person he was. But you're promoting everyone yourself with the book in your hands, and then once you're ready with the other product, the picture will be the same but with another book. People will know you and recognize you from that. So I think you put emphasis on yourself as a person, And it doesn't matter what you sell, they will learn, they still need to learn and connect with you personally.
Thank you.
Well said. Yeah.
And I love the fact that you know about the Gerson situation, so you know exactly what I'm referencing to.
Yeah.
She was around for 43 years, and she was going and delivering her message to the people, her father's message.
Yes.
Already so into it that she was delivering it like from herself.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. That's great.
Perfect.
That is excellent. Thank you, Irina. That's absolutely great feedback. And Jackie and Lisa, I do think we'd be more than happy to get on a call with you guys too. We're overdue, actually, for that call.
Yes.
So I'll arrange to get together with Danielle and Pashmina and you two ladies too. But Irina and Danielle, wow, I agree. That was actually excellent, because this is a
that's helpful
example of something that I know. Even for me, I sit there and go, oh, I don't know. So you just brought it all into clarity. That's great.
Yeah. Thank you. That was good.
Excellent. And Jamie, that's a great idea. Story. Yeah, Nelson Mandela's grandson is doing something similar. So another example to look up. Who was and Renat asked, who was the first person you mentioned, Irina?
The writer?
Yeah.
I just put the name right now in the chat. I was talking about Charlotte Gerson, and her father was Gerson, who discovered the non-medicated treatment for the cancer, and he started that, and then he was killed. And she was the only one who was able to collect his papers, and she was continuing on his message. And she was very successful at doing this for over 40 years, traveling the globe, creating the clinics and everything else based on her father's work. And that's how she was known.
That's excellent. I'm gonna Google that. That's fantastic. Thank you again.
Gerson, yep. Thank you so much.
Exactly. Okay, back to you, Danielle. The floor is yours again.
Yeah, and one of the important aspects Irina mentioned, the girl, the Charlotte, she is branding herself through the story of his father, as Irina mentioned, that she was the connection, the closest connection with her father, and this is what I was telling, that there is storytelling surrounding the character of her father, and she is the one who is bringing it to the world. So the importance of you find a place for you to be in this all, that's what we call personal branding. That was I was telling you this different. Personal branding is not about self-promotion. That is something people get really confused about. It's about bringing to the world what really your values, your mission, you know, exactly what you can do for others. So in this case, as Charlotte, she what I understood, she continued her father's work, and she is not letting his legacy to die. There is a whole storytelling surrounded these two people, and she is being positioned by this purpose she has of not letting her father legacies to die. And why this is important? Because once again, people connect with people. For example, I have a friend. She is the owner of a publicity agents. I don't know if in English it's like this. And she was telling me that she has been years working for her clients, and only the day she started to show her face, show the staff behind her agents, she multiplied her business opportunities like crazy. So it's the same in books, because people will always return to who wrote this. I want more.
absolutely agree. I have it's incredible how many times I will be asked, or an author will say something about, well, I don't really need to have a bio, or I don't need to have my picture in your book. People are really, really intrigued with who it is behind the book or the project or the business.
Yeah.
Like we cannot, I know when I started Hasmark years and years ago, Peggy said something to me about, you need to get your name out there. You need to get your name out there. And and I'm like, I am the most introverted person. No, Jennifer's got me on that one. And I'm like, I don't want to show my face, but you're right. I can put Hasmark Publishing, for instance, is my brand, except that if there is no face behind it, people won't come. So it's the same thing with a book for an author, is that go ahead and write it, and the cover is important and your story is extremely important. But people want to know you. They're so intrigued with who that storyteller is, whether it's business or fiction, nonfiction, whatever it may be. It is so very, very important they know you.
We certainly found that at Paula's course that we went to in Ottawa, and everybody was more interested in who Dad was, why he wrote the book, the fact that he was trying to finish it after a stroke. They wanted to know more about that than they did actually about what the story was about. So yeah. Sure.
Yeah, I think that's one of the most important messages I can give to any author is people want to know you.
Yeah.
The story.
And it's because as I always tell you, it's because you are the promise of the value that you are trying to deliver to your audience. Okay. So when you have this message well conceived and delivered, people will know that anywhere they see your name or your face, they know that's a good project, you know. And this is the connection you have to have in mind, even for books, because you need to be prepared for these opportunities of being seen, of being noticed about. And how do I want to be seen by my audience? Think about it and start to put it in paper. Write it until it gets so clear to you that every time you give your face to send a message, people know exactly what you are trying to tell them. You know, it has to be clear, so they are clear about who you are.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, exactly. Now, what happens for an author when they've got a couple different genres? Like, say they've got a business book and they've got a children's book. How would you ever figure out how to brand yourself as an author?
Again, he is the creator. You know, he is the creator. What this person needs to have in mind is the right ways to promote both avenues, you know, because if he is trying to promote his business book, he will need to have the right vessels to promote this book to the business people. If he is trying to promote for children, because in fact, if you notice, we are the same person behind the two products, so there will be commonalities between the two works, you know. So some kinds of message, because I will always write about the values I want to be projected. Okay, so how do you want these books to be promoted? For example, again, if you are a psychiatrist, okay, you write a book for the adult public and you write a book for the children's book, but there will always be the commonality of mental health, you know. So you just will need to you are the person, you define your position. If I am a psychiatrist, I want to promote health, well-being for people, I will be always known by this. And then the promotion, it will have the right, I will choose the right ways to promote each and every business under this umbrella, you know?
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Exactly. And that's why when we do URLs, sometimes it's more important this is a subject that's come up a lot too, is when you're choosing what your website or sales page lives under, whether it be your children's book, your business book, or your author name. What would you suggest then that we do?
Besides the website?
Like, what would you do? So you're the author with the business book and the children's book. What would you do to show yourself visibly in social media, on a website, throughout the world?
The first thing is about how can you be found, okay? So what my vision of the importance of having a website is because when people Google your name, this is the natural behavior. Every time someone want to know more about some person or industry or whatever, they go where? They go to Google. So if you can buy a domain with your own name, okay, because your name will be behind all the projects you may put in the market, okay? You build, so you buy your domain, your name, and then you have the spider web, like Pashmina uses to say, yeah, the spider web with all your products. But of course, let's imagine that your range of products or services are vast. For example, in this website, you keep your main activity as the business person behind all of this, okay? So if someone have found you, like let's say Maria, I found Maria in the Google, and through this website, I can instantly know all the projects that Maria has launched. But of course, after that, you can have sub websites that leads them to specific products. For example, I have a company that is only dedicated to create lipsticks. So of course, I will have a website dedicated to this lipstick, but the people will know that the person behind this other industry will be always Maria, So the website is important for people to know who you are and all other projects you are involved in. So it will lead you to also to have clarity in what kinds of social media to spread your word, because not every social media is right for you. Your public, your audience is not at all social media. So once again, clarity. If I want to sell lipstick, I can't go to a male website, or whatever. I need, if my audience is feminine, is strictly feminine, I need to know, women's health, women's this and that, it's about clarity.
Yeah, true. It definitely is about the messaging. That's really good. I was thinking about something else. Oh, I know what else I was thinking too is, do you know how many websites I come across that you can't find the person behind that website? I think it has got to be the biggest mistake on the internet today is if you're going to create a business website, for instance, and if on that website you don't have, so you could do something is my name, my business called Business Bob, something like that. And you go there and it talks about when was a company founded, where was it founded, where is it located in, but you don't know who the person is behind it. It's back to what you said. Yeah. Do you know how many times I see thousands of websites like that? I want to know that there's a human being behind everything I'm choosing to do. I'm making a selection. Amazon, for instance, we want to know who Amazon is. We want to know who made Apple. We want to know who made Facebook. There's movies produced about them. Then you go to a website and you can't find who it is, like Zoom. Who created Zoom? I want to know who that person is, who's that genius behind it. And most people
And once again, because these products or service made you to feel in some way. And every time you have a feeling, you create a connection, and you start to question yourself, but who did this? Who is the, as you said, who is the genius behind this creation? What more can I have from this person or this product or service? And that's why it's important to show yourself, to position yourself as the creator.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And in the case of Brad and Kike, that's exactly what they've done. They've brought themselves out, and that's when they created their book. It's all about who are you guys? And I think this is a fantastic example of branding, and well done, because your business is very linked to your book, but yet your book is a memoir. So everything is circling back to what you guys do very effectively. And this book is everything about this book talks about who you guys are. And I love that you did this. I think this is one of the best examples of and that's you are so incredibly creative in bringing this out and what you do.
The natural behavior of the people who resonates with the story will be, Kike and Brad, how can I hire you to be in a speaking gigs with me? Can you come to my company to talk from the women's here and to spread some kind of energetic message? You know, this is the importance of making yourself to be noticed as the creator.
Yeah.
Kike and Brad, can you tell us about how you got Gig over here, which was like cross leveraging with another company because they had found you because of your book, with Gig over here because of your branding?
Sorry, everybody.
Hi.
Can you
Hello, everybody.
Hello.
Hello. Can you tell everyone how you're branding, because you're doing a digital platform called Gig over here, right? Which talks about your coaching and your tutorials and photography and all the things that you do in your sales page, a stage presence and talent development. How did they find you? Was it because of your book and the way that you had branded yourself?
Well, first of all, I want to tell everybody that maybe you know, but maybe you don't know. We have been working in the entertainment industry for a long time. We have a lot of experience in the entertainment industry. When it comes to be an author, I'm an artist. I have never read a book before I wrote my book. My book is the first book I've ever read. So, when we started doing this, we had Hash and Judy, and we completely 100% deposit million% trust in them, because of course we didn't know how to do it. What it brought us all the way to where we are today, and Brad can tell you, is that we just kept true to ourselves. And we are a brand from a long time ago that our brand is called Fab Productions. It's a production company. And it's called Fab. And so everything that we do, we try to do it very bling bling and fab. So we just kept true to ourselves. And for the branding, for example, when Judy was showing you the cover had to be fab, how to outdo what fab is, what is the meaning of fab, because our brand is that. And when we wanted, we envisioned that when people will pass by the bookshop, and what it will bring them to look at the book, it had to be a fabulous picture. So whatever your brand is, it has to be true to yourself. Right?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, you guys live
You were asking about, and I think you're asking about Club Gig, Pesh?
Yeah.
So actually, we Club Gig, we met them before our book was launched. and tell them a story about. So it's kind of funny actually how we got
Okay.
that.
Long story short, very quick. I'm gonna tell it really quick. I was just by chance I went to one of my friends was visiting me here, and I went to pick her up, and I was invited to this party. And in this party, we were drunk and we started dancing, and I started teaching everybody, and everybody knew that I used to coach Universe Japan, so I was teaching the whole party how to walk and everything, and that's how I started. But they already knew about us coming out with a book or something, and us being producers. So that's how it started. But right now it's turning into a more being authors and what this author world is bringing us. Like before, somebody said that it will. Oh, I think Daniel, you said it will bring you more opportunities. I think that's because of the book.
Yeah, because like before we have a production company and dance and like a lot of creative services, but we never had a product. So a lot of times it was really difficult to sell our services because people don't really understand something if you can't touch it or you can't see. You know, it was hard to just see it. So it was difficult. I mean, once they knew us, it was okay. Like, you know, we could sell it, but before they actually like knew who we were, then it was kind of hard to market the idea. So having the book is definitely helped because it's our product, and you know, it tells about us as people and also our story and what we do. So it definitely has helped us to branch out and to get more opportunities because we have the book.
And we have these other titles. We do all these other things that like we produce. I'm a choreographer and model coach and all of that. But to have this extra label, which is an author, it elevates your whatever you do, your skills or your career or your profession to a different level, that whenever you go to do the same jobs that you do, and then on top of that you have the author that now I am, it's different. And therefore you have to keep up with it. Like for example, we came up with this book, we launched it last December, and even though it's happening, all of this is happening right now, and we were like, oh, we're fine with the pictures and all this stuff for media that we prepared before. With what is happening right now in the world and all this virus pandemic, the world is changing right now, and we've been forced to reinvent ourselves, and we're thinking right now how to jump on this wave, otherwise, so we can ride this wave and don't get drowned, you know, because I thought we were cool. Yeah, we had all these pictures, we had all these things to do all the media stuff, but now people in less than a couple of months, people got really media savvy because everybody's in and they are learning all these tricks and all these new things to brand themselves. So we have to really jump on the wagon and do this because we're living in another world now. So it's all about branding, about how they perceive you, how you show your message.
And it's important because you both are a good example about the branding you are doing, because branding is not about creating a fake version of yourself to show the world. Branding is about to enhance your quality so people are clear about who you are and what you stand for. And this is how you build a branding with sustainability. And everything from this point on, everything you touch, they will know this has the fingers of Braden Kick. And everyone else, you know, the who brands themselves in the right way. It's about values. You cannot create a solid foundation if you think you are creating a brand that you think that it's what people want. No, you need to be true to yourself, even though you may seem, let's suppose, I have a characteristic that seems to be awkward for the moment, for example, but if it's true, it's my style, once again, Romero Brito. Romero Brito has a very particular singular style of painting, and most people criticize him. But this is what is true to himself. He would never be who he is if he had followed to the temptation of offering some kind of painting people was trying to get from them, the criticism. Okay, Picasso does also have a story like this. He had his style and he was true to his style, and this is what you have to be in mind when you are branding yourself. You need to be consistent, you need to be coherent with who you are, because the right people will resonate with this and they will be attracted to you.
Yeah.
And this
Yeah,
is what
that's right.
Brad and Kike are doing very good.
Yes.
Can I add something to what you just said?
Yeah, please.
For what you said, it of course to make that stronger is we sometimes we don't. I mean, me and Brad, we know who we are. We're very strong, and we know what it's what is which is our target and all of that. But there's a lot of people that don't know really how should I brand myself, what image should I go, or what even if you're ready to shoot the cover, the photo of the cover of the book, and you don't know how or what, it's if you don't know any of those things, it's okay to get inspired, but to get role models or people that you like or inspire you to do what you did, because copying is okay. No, sorry. What is it? Getting inspired is okay. You can can get inspired from another people, and it's not copying. It's getting inspired, because when you get it and then you do it on your own way, then it's yours. It's unique. So don't get discouraged if you don't want. Oh, I don't want people to think that I copy that or that. No, just get inspired, and it's going to evolution into something that is yours. So don't worry about getting inspired from other places. It will still be authentically you.
You can't please everybody. That's basically what I'm hearing, and that happens. And I do want to bring everyone to note that it is a couple minutes before 10. So and I know Pashmina had a question before we break off, so we'll try to be as respectful of your time as we can be, but this conversation is really, really good, because I agree. You guys, and it's one of the reasons that Brad and Kike are now joining our team, just so everybody knows. So that's phenomenal, and we can't wait for you guys to work further more with us, because you guys you're a leading example of, you've been very true. And if you have not bought this book, I don't do this very often. If you haven't bought it, read their story, because it's incredible the journey you two gentlemen have been on. And to Danielle's point, it's amazing when you read someone's story, how much you understand what got them to where they are today. And to your point, when you do understand that, then you're connected. I'm connected to those guys because I've now been through it. Anne's connected to them as she was doing the creative part of their book with them. And it just changes. If I had seen this book, it wouldn't have as much value as knowing now the story and meeting you guys. And it just brings a depth. So that's why we want to know as readers more about you, more of who you guys are. So, and just quickly, Pashmina, you asked about logos. So I want to touch on that before we end our call too.
Can I just take one picture, because I know Irina has to go. Can I take one quick Hollywood picture? Everyone say Hollywood. Ready? Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Irina.
Did you want to ask quickly?
Kike and Brad, can you put your link in the chat, please, for where Bryce can buy your book? Thank you. I just wanted to ask quickly, because I know we only have 5 minutes. I was really thinking about Tony. Tony, I was thinking about you and your logo. You know, like developing something from an image, like a logo, and doing it that way, where the logo becomes the symbol to instigate ideas. Is that something that's okay to do in branding?
The logo has to be representative of your value, okay? And what you want to communicate. Yeah, because it's
on everything. Everything.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So, because once again, everything that you do offline or online communicates something. So, your logo needs to resonate with the message you want to be known for, okay? So it's okay to create a logo, and you should, if you want, even especially if you want to be in the head of all the projects, but it has to resonate with you. It has to be a symbol of the message you want to put out there.
Absolutely.
For example, I have a brand for a logo for my name. It is a diamond. Why? Because a diamond for me represents transformation under great pressure. So everyone who comes in contact with me knows that diamond represents the transformation of themselves. You know, you need to have the message in mind before creating a logo.
Yeah.
And you can, if people do need branding advice, you can give them that kind of advice through pictures, visuals. What is the messages in logos? Yeah.
Yeah.
And color scheme and everything. Perfect.
And keep in mind that a logo doesn't have to have a symbol or anything. It can be a word mark. It can be your name, even if you don't have anything with it.
True.
If it's done and it's consistent, it's consistency. That's where the branding comes.
Absolutely.
That's excellent, actually, because we tend to think of a logo only in terms of like this, an image. And you're right, though, it doesn't have to be that it's like you said, could be a watermark, could be initials, it could be just about anything. So
absolutely,
you know.
But you need to be consistent in the way you promote this logo. For example, the usage of it. If you want this to stick in the minds of people, you need to be consistent in the usage.
Yeah, because even after 12 years of doing this, you came along the other day and brought to attention that we're not using our logo enough, even. So it's like, you think you've got it. And then all of a sudden, you know, Danielle, you came forward and said, oh, by the way, you know, have you thought about this, this, and this? Like, and it's funny because that's what we all do. We, you know, think that we know what we've got going on, and just takes somebody with a clear mind, a vision to see it, that there's such a way to bring it out even more and make sure we're using it correctly to our advantage. So anyways, I think we'll probably wrap here because I know a few people are having to get off, and thank you so much, Danielle and Pashmina and everybody on the call, Kiki and Brad, and everyone who's stepped up, and we can hang around for a few more minutes. I just wanted to wrap the call in case anyone wants to drop off, but we're definitely here. If anybody has any questions, we're more than happy to, you know, answer anything you guys might have, but we appreciate very, very much, Danielle, and I'm so happy you're part of the team, and that we're going to be bringing, you know, this to our authors going forward. Is that we want to make sure that it because even we realized that it wasn't enough attention paid to it, and it is so very important that every author has clarity about who their audience is and what their message is. So and we're happy you're on the team, so thank you. Thank you.
I am so grateful for this opportunity. I loved the conversation here, the people who participated. We all get enriched together. More minds think more. I think it's so amazing. And one of the things I like also about Hasmark is that aspect. It's like a book family because we care for each other. And there is a quote from John C. Maxwell. He uses to say that people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. And being surrounded by people who truly love what they do and offer you all the support they can, this is priceless, especially in the world today. This is priceless. I have like-hearted people. It's amazing.
Well, it's funny because when you talk about the branding, and I'm showing this as my book cover, is that years and years ago, my brother came up with Hasmark, which is Heart and Soul of Marketing. And Colin Miller found this heart, and he put it in the middle of between Hasmark and Hasmark Services. And ever since then, this has become a symbol, because I realized right from the beginning that when we put our heart into what we're doing, it just makes a world of difference. That's what people, and your thinking is that, well, what does that have to do with, that's more about donations or charity or something like that. But no, it's not. It's about the value that I find is important. And then it just proliferates into everything I do then. And that's why I love that the symbol is now on everything where Hasmark is concerned or where I am concerned, as part of the branding that I became. And I was able to take it from Hasmark and put it into my books and everything else, even Hearts to Be Heard. Again, it's got the heart. So that's where I led with. So
purpose. Yeah.
And here I am thinking I've got my branding down. And then you brought it to my attention the other day that I don't. So thank you. It's incredible value. So does anyone else want to ask any questions? Do you have any concerns about where you're going? Do you want any clarity do you want Danielle? She's here for free advice. So if you want to put your hand up, you're more than welcome, or unmute yourself and ask her any questions. We're all here for you guys. So if not, then we'll call it a wrap for today. And thank you all for showing up. And again, we're all here at any time. So please feel free to reach out, to connect with us.
Hey, Judy.
Yeah.
Before we wrap up,
Tim.
Hi. I just want to say that I came up with an idea this week to create a blog and call it Authors Supporting Authors. So people can go on there and anybody could get advice from other people, or just not only inspiration, but support. If you're down or you need help, Authors Supporting Authors. So I want to put that together this week.
You and I can talk, because we're on the same wavelength at the exact same time.
No kidding.
I have that exact thing being developed right now. I didn't call it exactly that, but close enough. And actually, It was Danielle who mentioned it to me a week or so ago, that we're doing it, like to create an author forum where authors can talk to authors, because that's where I can see that you guys can connect. You can share your stories. You can share your successes, share where you want to go, questions,
experiences.
Your experience. People want to know. You're right, Tim, because people will, every single author I think I've worked with so far, is every time they bring their book out successfully, somebody always comes to them. How'd you do it? What did you do?
I have two customers. One was yesterday and one today. Both of them are writing books. So all your information is now in their hands. So
thank you.
And today I have to go to one guy, and he's just starting to write a book, and he's asked me 100 questions.
Yeah.
Like, whatever I can answer, the best way I can answer it, I will give you whatever I have in information.
Yeah. Wow. Good for you. And your book, I've got it, by the way.
Yay.
and good old Amazon. There's Anne with her copy of it too. So we're special because I know that you guys who live right next door to the printing press didn't get yours.
We haven't gotten ours.
So we got it in Canada faster. So, but yours is a perfect example of success, because fiction books, to be honest, doing bestseller campaigns for 12 years now, and working with publishers and all the people I've worked with, this is by far, and Peggy will not like me saying this, the hardest type of book to get on the bestseller list of any book. It is the biggest genre of books. There's more.
I'm glad you didn't tell me that before.
Yeah.
I know. I don't want to cause anxiety, but international best-selling authors, co-authors, you guys are. So fantastic job. So no wonder people are asking. You did a phenomenal job. You really.
Well, we didn't know we couldn't do it.
That's the best way to be. Sometimes being naive is
ignorance is sometimes bliss, you know?
Yeah.
Or
So
naivety.
I guess asking, there is a few authors still on the call. Would you guys be interested in an author forum, like a place where you guys can all, I see Jonette,
That's a great
yes,
idea.
and Sandy and Anne. So let's talk, because I
Okay. Well, we got a call on Thursday, so.
Yeah, we do. Tomorrow we have a call. So I definitely, and so does Danielle, I know, think it's a brilliant idea to get a place where you guys can all chat. So yeah, and share, because I think it's a good idea, because, you know, and then you can always go public with it too, with how you reached, you know, the success and how you became so creative, because it isn't easy. You write the book, and as Peggy says, it's only 5% is writing the book, and that's a big job. 95% of it is the promotion of it. So it's, yeah, Kike is shaking his head. Absolutely, yes.
Oh, yeah.
Casey, the quiet one, as a new author, what is the first thing that you need to focus on when it comes to branding? I plan to launch online learning and consultation via this book. Where can I start? Any advice?
What is the first thing that I need to focus when? Yeah, I'm reading the question. About plan to launch via this book. Where can I start? As a new author, okay. As a new author, plan to launch consultation. Once again, what I understood, your intention is that people know you, right? So
There you
start
are.
by where?
He just popped onto the screen.
Okay, because I can't see. So you need to be clear about the position. For example, everything about yourself communicates something. So if you can start in all your social media right away, communicate about the values you are transmitting through the book. Of course, also not forgetting about a website with your name. That's one of the biggest mistake I see people doing. They don't buy their names. You have to buy your name, because if you want to be positioned as the author, you can't buy let's say Maria author, you know, buy your name, Maria Smith, one example, you know, because you are a person with name and surname. Buy a domain with your name, and start put the website organized with all the information people should want to know about you, and all the social medias that are relevant for your message to be transmitted. Start to post relevant subjects, because branding is a process. You can't brand yourself from night to day, you know. It's about building connection, building confidence, trust with people. And the more you can be found by the person who adds value, by the content you put out there, the more you will be sticking to the people's mind. You know, it's a noise world, it's a noise place. You need to gain relevance in your niche, and don't try to pick up everyone in every niche everywhere. Choose, focus in one public, the audience who will benefit from you or your product or service, and start to create content for this audience. And consistency. create partnerships with people in the industry who can be interested for your image, for your message, because you will benefit also from this association. But everything has to be done on purpose. Define your message and find the audience you want to bring value, and start to communicate in a way that they can be clear about you and what you can bring to them.
Does that help, Casey? Good, good. Excellent. And I know I know that we have an inquiry in our inbox, so I am going to be getting that too.
I want to add something, but it's not. It's kind of like a question as well. What Daniel just said, that it's great to you have to know who you target and all of that. For us, we used to go all the time to events and this and that and meet a lot of people, and our life was very social because of what we do, and it was easier for us that way. But if you were to come and ask me how you built all of this momentum, it was that way. But the thing is, now all of us, we are like back to zero, because we have to learn how to do this, at least us that we are social people, how to do this without having that anymore, because now we can all go and meet people and make friends and meet this and make contact, and that's how we have, that's our life. We know everybody. But now for us it's finished. Like I'm like, and that's why I have Brad. He does all the high tech. I'm like high tech challenge. So now I'm like, that was me. I'm very social, but now I'm like, God, how do we do this? So we have to think, we have to all brainstorming. If you guys have ideas, because we're all learning together, from now on, throw ideas of how do we do this, especially for people like me that I don't know I didn't know all this high tech, and now I have to do it.
Yeah.
So,
well, but you touched on a subject that perhaps people is needing to rediscover now, that is the digital networking. You are used to do the networking in person. Now you need to be more consistent in the digital networking. And for do this, yeah, but we need to adapt, okay? Never underestimate the power of a connection. Yeah. Only because this person is not in the same place you are, nourishing these connections. Send always something that you think can be useful for the people, add value. Never ever get to them to ask for something that will benefit in your end if you have never done for the other person before. It's about building trust, but in the digital way, and especially in the digital way, because we not always can see each other's face. It's only about texting and messages, but if you are consistent, you will start to create another community through which you are going to be able to keep promoting your service. For example, nowadays, better. At the beginning of the pandemic situation, artists started to gain their territory like this, making videos, free videos of them just playing their pianos, but once again, it's about feeling, If I see an artist that I love, I adore, playing the piano for free, one whole show, why should I not want to get more of it, So start to create, invest in the digital networking, and start to see what partnerships will be useful for you to continue spreading your word, mouth word. Okay, yeah, because every time also you are seen in other people's media, you are expanding your audience, And the more people are being exposed to your job, more people will get in resonance with your work, and they will become aware of your existence. They will search more about you.
Yeah, very, very, very true. Absolutely. Absolutely. Okay. I think we're probably in our wrap now, guys. It has been incredible. I know I have really enjoyed the call. I constantly learn from each other. And I think that's the point of what you guys are saying is we have to learn to adapt to situations, and we also have to lean on each other. And where this leaves me is that the fact that Tim brought on the point, and so have you to me, Danielle, is that there's a community. Lean on the community. If you aren't, as in your case, Kike, you're not technically, it's Pashmina always calls herself, she's a Poogle when it comes to anything technical. Well, lean on the people who are around you. And that's part of this community is reach out. We're all here collectively, and not as a business. You can also reach out because we're a family. So, and stay true to who you are, and, you know, we'll all be here for each other. So, you know, it's all fantastic. So again, thank you everyone. And I hope you enjoyed the call, and I love the interaction, and I'm so looking forward to the next one.
Me too.
Okay. Thanks everyone. Enjoy your day. Thanks.
All right. Have a good day, everybody.
Okay. Thanks. Bye now.
Talk to you tomorrow.
Okay. Thanks. Take care.
Yep. Bye-bye.